So, like I was saying before, I was really interrupted with how this whole thing starts. I'm gonna say a phrase, and you're gonna finish it. There's like a game I want to get on target that's kind of like this. So I feel like it's a good practice for when we get it, because we got to make sure we're on the same page of how we thinking about things, right?
Okay.
All right. So shoots in,
shoots out.
bro. Shoots and ladders.
Shoots and ladders. Okay. All right. Give me another one.
Killing me.
Give me another. Give me one more. Give me one more.
All right. Hot air.
Balloon.
All right. Good. You get it. All right. Basket.
Ball.
Right. Race.
Driver.
We'll take that.
Car.
That's what I was looking for, a race car.
Man, I'm like fucking Blue's Clues out there. I'm excited as hell. All right.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right, salt and
vinegar.
Damn it, you just supposed to say nigger. And I was like, Kyle, welcome to the Associate Counseling Podcast. I hope this is Martin.
And this is your boy Jermaine.
And I forgot my mic stand, so what we're doing today is I'm holding the mic in my hand for this episode because, you know, I like to move when I talk. I can gesture a lot more. I don't have to be stiff because we don't like stiff people here. The only thing that's stiff right now is what's in my pants, but we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that. This is season 3, episode 2, and we're coming at you with more energy, like we said before. We just released the episode earlier today about
quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting.
Yes.
That was today?
Yes, that was today.
All right.
Quiet quitting was today.
We dropped the episode on quiet quitting today. Everyone was looking forward to it. So we love getting that feedback, and we love hearing the energy that you guys are really into it. And today we're coming at you with a brand new episode. And I'm not even going to spoil that yet without asking you right now, how are you doing?
All right. So, bro, I'm doing good, actually. You know, I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. Not going to lie, I was like, this week, because I had all week off the following week, and then last week they had us remote, bro, I was like, Monday, I turned over, and I was like, fuck, man, I gotta go in the office. But so far, so good. So, we talked we talked off the air and stuff like that. I told you my struggles. We're going to go into that in this episode. But overall, I'm good, man. I'm been more like in a better headspace, and I think it was just like I needed to just like vent and talk to somebody because I like with all the pod and stuff like that. I forgot the reason why we did this was to help one another, and I hit my man with a knock Ayo Malibu. I need help.
Yeah, for you guys who haven't been listening to us, when you hear the word Malibu, that means it came from Insecure. It's a show on HBO with Issa Rae. Shout out to Issa. Where Malibu basically means like, hey, tell me what's really going on. Don't hide, like, say the bullshit. Tell me what's really going on, how you're really feeling. So whenever we want to be real with each other, we're like, hey, yo, Malibu, what's really happening?
Exactly. And I felt the service in the force, not only in myself, but with him. I was like, hey, yo, we need to talk. But actually, after that, it helped me so much. I'm in a better headspace now. Work, I'm doing my thing. Slightly quiet quitting, you know, on the DL. But overall, like, I'm doing really good. You know, I beat Final Fantasy. I'm back on my habit train and stuff. Like, I'm just in a better mindset and present and everything, bro. So life's good. I'm doing good. How you doing, bro?
I'm about to say your wife's good too.
Hey, yo, give me a year and a half.
Hey, I heard it here first.
A year and a half.
My man gonna be tied down to have no freedom.
I'm gonna be wiped up with no freedom. Exactly.
Wiped up with no freedom. You can't tie him down until a year and a half from now.
I'm excited to just be bitch made. Anyways,
that makes one of us because I'm gonna lose you. So I'm doing a lot better than I was last couple weeks on the podcast. I came in with a lot of negative energy, and I felt like I wasn't my true self.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was just like encumbered by a lot of stress from the work environment, from life in general. But like over this past weekend, I got to see my niece and nephew for the first time in quite some time. I think it's probably since the wedding, really.
Right.
So it's been like well over a year since I saw them, which was really exciting. I got to see my niece, and my niece loves her Uncle Marty.
Damn, bro.
Uncle Marty. That's my name. I'm taking it now because she'd be like, where's Uncle Marty? Where's Uncle Marty? And I was like, you know what? I hate anybody else in the world calling me Marty, but if my niece and nephew call me it, I'm down.
I think I tried to call you that one time during college. I almost got my jugular like taken over.
Bro, I had the knife ready. I was just like, yo, you ain't my niece and nephew. I didn't even have a niece and nephew at that point, but still, I knew that nobody else can call me that. You know, interesting story about that.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in first grade, I had a teacher, and she's like, "Hey, can you come here real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" She was like, "So I heard your mom call you Marty.
Yep.
Do you want to go by Martin or Marty
Triggered.
for the rest of your life?" I wasn't triggered. I was
She said
there.
it for the rest of your
But
life.
she didn't say that. But I figured this out. That it's going to be her rest of my life. Because whatever they put in that book, that's your permanent record. She's like, "Are you Martin or Marty?"
Ooh.
And I was like, at my young age of 5, I was like,
out of kindergarten. In kindergarten. First grade or kindergarten?
I think it was first grade. It's maybe 6, 5, 6 years old. I was like, call me Martin.
And then he was born.
And then history was made. I became a hater. I feel like my life would have been completely different if I was Marty. I feel like Marty doesn't have that much pull. Like, hey, Marty, like, how do you moan Marty?
I mean, Marty McFly he got old girl and but Marty. Look, all right, this is gonna be contentious and it might get some backlash. I think Marty's very white.
It is.
Martin.
It's still white.
I mean,
you got Martin
Lawrence. You know what I'm saying?
Who else? Martin Luther King.
MLK.
Yeah.
You're right. Hey, all those streets, people getting shot up.
Right. all the streets that we all try to stay away from. I got them all. Just look for Martin Luther King. You got it.
Hey, let's talk about fuck like that's bullshit. How MLK Drive, right? I had a dream. These motherfuckers, y'all ain't shit. All these people that make these streets, y'all ain't shit. Y'all like, hey, let's make sure they remember.
Never forget, bro.
Never forget.
Never forget. They had a dream of a safer street. Martin Luther King said we can live in it equally. Meanwhile, it's just darkies shooting up everybody, but we gonna call it MLK Lane.
Hey, this was his real dream. This was his real dream.
This is the dream he had. This is my dream for America. But we already there anyway.
Oh, God.
But yeah, like I said, I'm in a lot better headspace. I'm having fun. I'm laughing more. I'm smiling more. And that's what we really want to see on this podcast. We want to see from me in life. At least that's what I want to see for myself. So on the other side, like I said, saw my niece and nephew, went to dinner with the wife. We chatted about some things. We're in a lot better space. We're in good headspace right now. So, I'm just feeling good. So, like I say, life's good, life's good. And I can't remember. What are we talking about today?
All right, so today what we talking about? Hey, all right, okay, smooth. Hey, I'm telling you, we getting better at this. Mm-hmm. So what we talking about today? We're talking about finances today. I know. Ugh. It might be extremely boring, but if y'all living in this recession like we do, y'all probably got some feelings right now when you go to the grocery store and you buy 9 things and you pay $100 for it.
Bro. Verbatim from my text message.
Literally verbatim. I just stole it from. But so we're going to talk about today, like how you can we're going to talk about the stressors of money and like how to dig yourself out of it and like making sure how do you view money and what you can do can benefit you and make you continue to move on through your goals in life. But before we get into that, what we drinking, bro?
Well, we're drinking 2 separate things right now.
Yes, we are drinking 2 separate things.
You already have yours open.
I do.
So I think I'm gonna let you take the lead while I get mine prepared because I don't even know what I'm drinking.
All right, so I'm drinking today. I'm drinking Sprite Zero. It's classic Sprite. You know what I'm saying? But trying to get good. I'm trying to get these shed these extra. Y'all probably don't give a fuck. I'm trying to get lean for
Cancun. You got a Cancun trip coming up.
Exactly, bro. I gotta get right. Look, man, I seen my parents have this on I don't know why they have this basically constantly showing me when I come home. They're like, "Hey, damn, bro, you were fucking fat in the DR, bro." So I need to erase this stuff. So when my 20, damn,
you got that trauma.
That trauma of me 26. Big boy out there, and then I'm like, all right, your boy gonna be right. So I'm getting right to this. So this is helping, continuing the support from my brother and drinking non-alcoholic. I'm drinking a Sprite, so that's what I'm drinking today. I haven't had it, but I had it before, so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. This is my favorite drink.
It is his favorite drink. Every time I come here, he's like, "Yo, we have
dinner."
Yeah, we have dinner, and whenever we have dinner, it's always drinking a Sprite, like a Sprite Zero, Diet Sprite, something with 0 calories and bubbles,
and no caffeine.
I gotta add the no caffeine because we like to get our sleep here. We get our 8 hours.
Exactly, bro.
Because we old men.
So fucking old. All right, what are you drinking today, bro?
All right, so
I know you're on
as
that juice drink right now.
I'm on a juice kick, but this is actually like only has 5% juice apparently. So this is complete hydration, organic, raw blue acai berry. It's naturally flavored, vitamin enhanced beverage. So I'm guessing beverage means it's like a water, but it has antioxidants, vitamins, and electrolytes. It's
No
supposed to hydrate
probiotics.
you. It's 4 grams of sugar. No, not
Okay.
four, 3 grams of sugar.
Okay.
It has 2 servings in it, so I guess technically it's like 7 grams of sugar. Uh, my math ain't math. I think it's 6.
Okay.
Because the back of this says 7, but that math ain't math on the front. They rounded down for some reason.
Hey, yo, just trying to make you know, like
No
there's like,
dietary fiber, but it's only 20 calories in this thing. I got it because it looked different. I've never had it before. I feel like I wanted to try something new for the podcast, so I picked this up. I haven't tried it yet. I opened it with one hand because mic in one hand. It was hard, so I let Janae go first because I was struggling.
I know you got it though.
But here we are. We're gonna take the first sip live for you guys to see. I'm scared because it smells so fucking sweet.
It smells. Does it smell like kombucha? Yep. I immediately hates it. Immediately hates it. Luckily, he has water.
I also have water for this episode, which was a great decision. Um, yeah, roar. I understand the name now because it makes me angry. Like I want to yell at somebody.
Oh
Like, I want
God,
to
it's
throw
like
this
that.
across the room.
Jesus.
This is a 2 out of 10. This might be the lowest ranking I've ever given anything.
Bro.
This isn't pleasurable at all. I'd rather drink the bomb hot sauce. I would rather.
Is this worse than last week's? The buy? Like you said, it tastes like cough syrup?
This is worse than the buy.
All right, what comparison would you give it?
This reminds me of, like, I don't even know, man. This is just so bad. It's like thick, but it's supposed to be water. It's like Sunny D consistency, but like a worse flavor. Like I can't describe it. I mean, blueberry acai, you think it would be good, but I don't know. All I know is anytime I have something that has the word organic in it, it's horrible. And I made that mistake again. So we're giving this a 2 out of 10. Comparatively, if we add our ratings up together, we get a 10. But
there you go.
We're doing 2 drinks, so that's like a
2 out of 10, 8 out of 10. All right, y'all know what you're getting. Go for the Sprite or go for any other diet. I know right now everyone's talking about aspartame being bad for you, blah, blah, blah. Look, man.
Hasn't it been disproven? I think there's like a study on that.
Yeah. So I had, before we get into this, I'm gonna get on my soapbox.
All right, I'm gonna play the world's smallest violin.
Exactly. So when I go to work, right, I bring two Diet Colas, two Diet Dr. Peppers to work. And then people come up to me and they're just like, hey, yo, aspartame is like cancer causing. I was like, you know what also is cancer causing? Alcohol. The sun? Bro, like, come on, man. Like, and now, like, they're talking about, like, since the WHO was like, blah, blah, we wanted to say, like, yeah, it's possible that is really, like, the only way you can get, like, cancer, like, to the levels is drink 14 cans of diet sodas a day. I'm drinking, like, 3. I'm fine, bro. Like, I'm just like, let me live.
You know who does drink 14 of those a day?
Who?
Tammy.
Tammy?
You know who Tammy is?
Oh, Tammy from
1,000 Sisters.
She drinks diet soda?
I don't know, man. Maybe she needs a diet. Anyway, so today, like Janae said, we're talking about finances, and my pockets would be hurting if I was buying 14 sodas a day. But nonetheless, we're here to talk about I guess we'll start off talking about our current financial situations, kind of where it came from, how we got to this point, and maybe offer some advice on how to get into a better shape, how we would approach different scenarios, and we'll just take it from there. So I'll start off. I came from very humble beginnings with my family growing up. Like I saw my mom and dad not having much. They gave us what they could give us.
Right.
But it's beating a dead horse here. Didn't really have money to do anything fun. I didn't really have a summer. Never did summer camp. Like didn't even have money for summers. It was like your summer camp is you not going to school. Like you sitting in the house and waiting for us to get home. Yeah, I better not be making a mess type deal.
Damn.
So like I had very, very humble beginnings, and it made me not want that for the rest of my life. So as I grew up and I got out of school, my main focus was to not put myself in a situation or put my future kids in that similar situation where they couldn't live the life that I wish I had when I was younger. What are we watching? I'm distracted.
Yeah, you are
I'm very
distracted. Turn it off.
distracted. um, Come on, turn it off. There we go. Sorry, we're gonna get that in post. Um, but yeah, like I want to make sure that I give my kids the life that I didn't have, and I think that's what a lot of parents have. Like they grow up in a different way, and they're like, oh, you know what? I want my kids to deal with the things that I dealt with, right?
Right.
So I've been very money conscious since I was got out of college. It was like I got to pay how much in loans? Bro, I'm not moving out my house till they paid off. So I stayed in my mom's house. So I paid off my loans, and I was like, all right, now I'm gonna get a house. I mean, get a apartment. Dumb move. I should have stayed, but I learned from that lesson. I moved into an apartment in Tyson's Corner. Stupid expensive. Wasn't making that much money. Then I was like, man, how can I make this last? How can I survive this? Decided I need to make more income. Got to make more money. I can't. I can cut my expenses and make more money. So basically, I worked my way up to the point now where I'm making around six figures, and having that dual income lifestyle right now, me and my wife living together, having no kids, it's been really nice. We still have some loans to pay off. She has some student loans, our credit card bills. I mean, we pay them off every month, but it's hard when you start off right. You don't if you want to have travel, you want to travel, you want to do all these things. You just rack up credit card debt. Because who I really blame for this idea?
Ooh.
Drake, because he
Drake?
was just like YOLO. It was like you only live
Yep.
once. That's the motto, nigga, YOLO. And ever since that song came out, I was like, man, listen, you can't spend it when we dead. You might as well just rack up that credit card debt. We might as well just buy everything, live for the moment. We can't live when we older. And boy, let me tell you, I feel like that's wrong. Now, not the fact that you're spending money, but the fact that like you can actually. I feel like now that I'm older, I don't know, I appreciate life more. Like it's not always
Yeah.
about like going out and drinking. Like when I was younger, that was living the life.
Yep.
Going out every weekend, drinking, having a good time, spending money you don't have to just keep up with the Joneses, to be around everybody.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh man, now I want to see things, I want to do things. So primarily, a lot of my money is going to like adventures and travel and like rare. Well, right now it's like food.
Right. Yeah, bro.
Right. And then groceries now, because groceries are super expensive. So all that to say that like I think I always grew up pretty money conscious. I'm always thinking about like how things will affect me, and I think some of that affects my relationship with my wife because I'm
Mm.
so like, all right, no, think about how much this is going to cost to like. We're trying to plan for future expenses. Like if we're trying to have a kid or we're trying to buy a house, it's like, all right, well, how much is that really going to cost? We can't just live the way that we are living because if we have an extra expense, we got to make up the difference, or our lifestyle is going to change, right?
Right. Right.
So yeah, it's been an adjustment for sure, but right now we're doing good because we don't have kids and we don't have a house and family, and both like okay salary. I mean, I'd say we're making good salaries comparably
Right.
to a
Right.
lot of other people, so we're in a good spot. What about you? What's going on with you?
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna talk about my money journey or my history. I didn't like grow up like in. I've seen Martin's neighborhood. Like we grew up similar but a little bit different. Like my family also was in a humble beginnings. Like my mom, like basically was like a single parent. My dad was there, but he didn't really like do much because he was going through some stuff. We talked about these in previous episodes, and she tried to instill in us like the importance of like saving and how to like budget and all that stuff. So when I went to college and like I had an understanding of money, I knew like, oh, okay, I know, oh, I need to go get greater value. I can't get like name brand stuff. I need to go to like Burlington or Nordstrom Rack or any of like these discount stores because why spend more money on it? So I understood the concept of like the differentiations of like money. Like I don't need the Jordans, I can get the Forces, right? I'm fine with Forces. Like yeah, I can get clown on if I got a FUBU or like as Martin says, Sora nines. But like I start to see like how money works and like instead of chasing it or whatever. But as I moved on into like my oh, there we go. My after college and stuff like that, I had student loans. I had like credit card debt that I didn't even know like I had because no one explained to me like how credit cards work. My mom
Mm-hmm.
told me like, oh, okay, just don't do it, or like it was very like credit cards to her was like the J.C. Penney card, the Payless
Yeah, a
card
card for every
from the
business,
store,
right?
right? And so I didn't know. I was like, oh, it's a bank card, so it's like a debit card, right? Because that's what I thought. I was like, oh, it's just like another card, but that was like the credit cards like you get from a bank and stuff like that. So I got caught up, and then student loans happened and stuff. And so when I had to move from Richmond to like get a better job up here, I carried that with me, and I carried that mentality of like, hey, I'll get to it when I get to it. Student loans ain't coming at me because they see me broke. Like, it's whatever. I need to like get to where I'm comfortable and also be around friends. And then, like you said, I was trying to keep up with the Jonas. It was YOLO in Richmond, and it carried over into DC. But it was also like, hey, you got it, ball out. That was
Right.
our motto, bro. Hey, yo, you got it, ball out, bro. It was like, yo, you got that first check. It don't matter, bro.
Bro,
You'll find a
let
way.
tomorrow Jermaine deal with it. Like
Exactly.
today Jermaine gonna have a good time. Tomorrow Jermaine gonna deal with it.
Bro, I feel bad for all like the Zoomers and stuff that going out in the street right now because I'm just like, bro, like we easy a night spend like 150.
Yeah.
Easy, it bro, nothing.
Bro, you go out now and you spend 150 just getting into the fucking bar.
Exactly, bro.
It's so crazy.
It's crazy. Like they don't even have those early like open door specials anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like you come in, you like hey, yo, from like 10 to 12 or whatever, you get
Right.
like $5 or $3 rail drinks and stuff like that. Nah, everything got paid up front. But anyway, so from that, I still had that mentality, and I just kept racking and racking, trying to move up and get closer to my what I believe I deserve versus looking at a budget. And then when I finally actually sat down and budget, I saw I was in trouble. And that's actually what we're going to lead up today. Is like when you dug yourself so deep, if your income can't meet it, or let's say you do have a lot of income, right? We have some friends that have a lot of income, but yet had a lot of debt, and they're just like, "Hey, yo, whatever. I'll deal with that later."
Mm-hmm.
I agree in some extent. So yeah, you can't take it with you. Like, don't let have money be a what's the word like have hold on you because you're that term like money never buys you happiness.
Yeah.
At first, but 100% I believe that shit, and now I'm like, all right, look, it need to be like an asterisk,
There's
an
definitely an asterisk to
asterisk right
that.
there. Like
Because money can't buy you happiness, but money opens up doors that not having money can't open up.
money is food today, bro. I'm telling like when people talk about like, hey, money can't buy you happiness, bro. Bro, like money is the equivalent of like back in. Like, I'm talking about like fucking decade, like millennia ago. Money is equivalent to food. How you get food? You need money. How you have shelter? You need money. Money is everything that you have. If you have an excessive amount of money, then you can say that's the asterisk.
Bro, I've had this conversation with my wife about how important money is. Because, like, the reason that we have the quality of life we have now is because we have money. Like, and I think that she was very fortunate to grow up in a situation where her family had like means to take care of her and all that stuff, and my family had means to take care of me, but like at a different level, right?
Right, right.
Like we were all taken care of. We got to the point now where we're adults, but she's always had like that cushion or that background where I'm coming from very different beginnings. So like she doesn't see the hard work it takes to build yourself out of that. She just sees like this is what her normal life is, and it's really weird because, and I kind of want to talk about this before we get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, yeah.
How did like how you learned about money? Um,
How did I learn about money?
yeah, I can tell you how I learned about money.
Yeah, you
Or
go
how
first, and I'll go ahead. Second.
yeah, so I didn't have any good mentors to tell me about money and how credit cards work. Similar to you, you were like, I had no idea how credit card worked. I don't know how any of this worked. All I saw was you had $36,000 student loan debt, And I was just like, where did this come from? I thought my parents paid for school.
Right.
No, remember that FAFSA? I was like, I just thought that was the same thing you did.
I thought it was like free money.
I thought it was free money too. No concept of it. Like there was no conversation with my mom. Like, oh, you're gonna have to pay this back afterwards. I was like, oh no, we got the Parent Plus loan. Like you are my Parent Plus. They giving you money
Right.
to take care of me. Like I didn't know that the plus was plus you gonna have to pay some money.
Exactly,
Because the parent
bro.
loan plus you paying some more. So I was just like, oh man, school's free. It's kind of like you go to elementary school, you go to middle school, you go to high school, then you go to college. Like you're covered, you're good to go.
Right,
Not like
right.
that at all. You have to pay that money back. So the first thing I saw was the $36,000. I panicked. I was like, how am I going to do this? And I didn't have any good role models because my parents were historically always in debt. I ended up just Googling. I knew how to use a computer. I understood that. So I was like, let me just figure out how do people live debt free? Because this is $36,000 for someone who just out of school, no job. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Right, exactly.
I read a whole bunch of different articles. They were like giving me all these methods, like the avalanche, or like
Avalanche and snowball.
Snowball, right? And I was just like, I don't know what any of this means, but I do know that if I pay off something, it's going to make me feel good. So let me just pay off the smaller loans first. So I would stay at my mom's house, just living very modestly, not doing anything.
I remember
I was
my man
missing
was
out on
eating.
all the fun stuff that everybody was doing. Everybody was like going out, hanging out. They were drinking Four Locos when they were dangerous.
Yep. The FDA was like, "Hey, it's all right, bro. You good?"
Right. I had like almost little to no social life. I was just like
For 2 years.
For 2 years, bro. It was rough. But I was like, you know what? If I get through this, it's gonna open the doors in the future.
Because I was like, "Hey, yo, come this way." You're like, "All right."
Also,
who gonna pick me up?
Right? Who gonna pick me up? Because that was before Uber. It was a thing.
Yeah, you're like, bro, I ain't taking this green line. I ain't taking this bus.
Right.
At like 8 o'clock at night.
The bus to the green line to the orange line, all the way down to that bitch.
And then you gotta take a bus.
Yeah, I take a bus. And I don't got cab money. So.
Bro, that was like a 2 hour. Like, bro, it's 2 hours.
So yeah, like I ended up just Googling everything. So I figured out about debt and how to take care of it, all those methods. So I paid off my student loans, and it was just like, all right. So what do I do now? It's like, oh well, I make like I think each paycheck was around like $1,300 a month.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, $1,300 a paycheck, and I was like, oh, I'm making good money. I can get an apartment. So my first apartment was like $1,400. So I thought that was it. And then it was like, oh, you also got to pay electricity. You also got to pay internet. You also got to eat. So you got to get groceries. You also got to pay water. And I was just like, I thought flat rate.
I thought the utilities were included, bro.
Right. No, if it don't say utilities included, guys, utilities are not included. Also, if you have to commute to work, luckily I worked for the government, so I had transit subsidies, so I didn't have to pay for that. But like if you had to get from A to B, you got to factor that in. Pay gas, pay for your car, pay insurance,
pay for Metro, pay for the bus. You know,
right? All these things you have to consider when you're making a life choice, life decision, because you got to figure out what you're doing now and where you want to be in the future. So I kind of was like, all right. So I had to figure out how to budget. Google. How do you set a budget? Never figured it out. It took me years to figure it out. I was like, why am I always poor? Why am I always broke? I just got a raise. Why am I still broke? Because I just didn't know how to manage money. I was going to Chick-fil-A. I was getting Papa John's with your boy over here. Hey. I was going to McCormick and Schmick, drinking my money away, getting fat, paying a gym membership that I wasn't using. Like, so much happening that I was just like, I don't understand why I'm poor. So it was just a matter of me just doing a shit ton of research and learning about credit, learning about the stock market, which I learned later in life.
Yeah.
And, just figuring out that way. So if you don't have like any role models that know about money, because they're not going to teach you in school. I think everyone knows this very well because they need you to make money. So they're not going to teach you money if the companies aren't going to make money if you're not spending the money. They're like, oh yeah, just take out a credit card. Hey, if you get a credit card with us, we'll give you 20% off this purchase. Try.
Hey, yo, cash back, bro. Like, I ain't even going to say.
Go ahead.
No, because like cash back, right? They'll get you like with that cash back. They're like, hey, yo, all right, look, if you pay this much money, you get cash back. They just say you get cash back. They never say what it is, the percentage. And like as a kid, you're just like, oh, I get money back. Every time I swipe, I get money back. It's basically like free money. Or like the way
Bro.
to save shit. It was like, oh, we round up. We put in your savings account, bro. Look,
Mhm.
you spend 30 cent, or not even 30 cent, 10 cent over. They just take $1 out, and you're like, hold up, wait a second, what happened? Like,
Well,
but
it's crazy because it's like you get. So I know that that was one of the big things that got me spending money because I got a Capital One Quicksilver card,
yep.
and it
And you
was
saw
like we get
the
1.5% cash back on every purchase. So I was doing the math. I was like, man, if I spend $100, I'm getting $1.50 back. Bro, it's a discount. It's everything's on sale. Everything's on sale. I was just spending money. I was just like, yeah, I know this says it's gonna be $50, but realistically, with the 1.5% cash back, it's really only like 4.90. It's 49.50 for real. So like, it's a deal. Getting that money back, that cash back, bro. It's
right.
such a trap.
It's such a trap, and like I mean, like you said, like when it comes to like budget, I want you to finish that. You say you did budget, and you did googling to get your budget right and stuff like that. So from there, how did you like apply that? Because I know you grinded up, you got through, you got out of school, you got out of the house, and then you moved out, and then you budgeted. How did that like from the budget, and how did that like empower you, or like how did that get you to where you are today?
Well, I took all those things, but I also understood my worth in the workplace and
Mm,
how the world continues to get more and more expensive. As I mentioned, as you mentioned earlier,
yeah,
9 items, $100. Like I saw the trend that's going on in the world that things are getting more and more expensive, and it's not slowing down just because I'm stuck at a salary. So I would like always fight to make sure that I've moved to a position that's going to pay me more, or if there's like any type of incentive to like my current job, I have like a retention incentive. I get a certification, they're going to pay me more money. Yeah, I'm going to work for that certification and get paid more money.
right.
Or I'd find a job somewhere else that's going to pay me more. Like I had to just keep improving my salary to that point. Now, one of the other things, wealth building assets that helps a lot is being married to someone else who has a job or living with having a girlfriend or you guys merging finances. Because I'd be lying if I said that didn't help me at all. Because if I was living by myself, well, I don't like thinking that
All
way.
right.
But if I was living by myself, I'd probably still be out in Tyson's just living modestly. I don't think I would live the way that I live now. I probably wouldn't be as motivated to make more money realistically. I think
Mm,
that one of the things that drove me to make more money is the future that I had. Like, okay, I got to take care of my partner. I got to take care of a potential future kid because it's the life that I want for me.
right.
Just like that we decided we wanted. Like, how can I make sure that I can be the provider? Because I feel like as a father, you need to be a provider, or as a husband, you need to be a provider. And that's toxic, maybe, or maybe it's just old fashioned.
Right. I
But it
mean, you
was
can be a
just
little old
like,
fashioned.
it's just
Like,
old fashioned. But I was like, I have to do this. So, that was my main focus. I got out of debt, so I didn't have an issue. My wife came in with a lot of debt, and I was like, well, that's a problem.
yeah, you're like, all right, now I gotta go back to this shit again. But with the lessons that you learn, you can apply that with her debt.
Yes, and that's kind of what we're doing now. It's like, okay, we had a pause on student loan debt. I was like, okay, well, we shouldn't. Why are you spending money on student loans? Put that in like a savings account and let that interest accrue, so that it just keeps growing and growing. And then after this pause stops, or if Joe Byron gives you money, you don't have to put that money towards it. If he doesn't give you money, then we're gonna have all that money saved up. We can just attack it then. There's gonna
Yeah.
be more money than if you kept paying
Mm.
individually, or you can invest it in the stock market, which she didn't feel comfortable with, and rightfully so.
Right. Oh, the stock market is low. That's a whole other episode.
But yeah, that's something that we and I had to talk about today. But yeah, it's just like understanding money, understanding what's going to help you grow your money quicker, and like only paying for things when you need to. So like now, at the end of this month, most likely, we we will be debt free.
mm.
We will be debt free, and then it's going to be just time to start saving for a house. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, it's a journey for sure, and it's always going to be these arguments because as much as my wife hates me, because well, not she doesn't hate me, but she doesn't like that I like to take control of a lot of things.
Right.
But like sometimes I know something. I feel like I know something more than her, and because I've dealt with it, like I've
Right.
been poor, like
Right.
I understand what it's like to be poor, and I know how to prevent it. So like she kind of leans on me to make the financial decisions for the family because I know what not to do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as someone that isn't, I think like when it comes to money, either like you grew up without it, so then you either go and follow that path of like, like, hey, bro, like every time I get money, I'm just blow it. Like, hey, this is like I grew up in that area where like all of us, like the people, my peers or whatever, when they got money, they were just like, all right, I got it, let's go out, let's ball out, whatever. Or you can take that and you still live in that situation, right? It perpetuates the cycle, right?
Yeah.
If you don't understand money or want to learn about money, like you say, you took the initiative and Google, or you come from money. Both extremes don't really like no shade.
No, that's bro. This is facts. This is facts.
This is from my perspective because I grew up in a very like I'll say humble. It was poor. We were poor. Like we were living. My mom telling me we was probably telling she didn't have food for us to eat. Like I ain't like KD, right? And like I saw I saw that movie with my man. But my mom, I was watching it with my mom. So we were watching a KD, a movie about Kevin Durant and his mom and like stuff like that. And we saw like how she was like living paycheck to paycheck. I was watching with my mom, and I could see like how upset she was getting, like, or like not upset, but like how it was touching her. And I was like, oh shit. And then like me like going back in there like
and those flashbacks.
And I'm like, yo, bro, like yeah, we probably didn't really have food like that to eat. Like she was probably trying to find like ways to scrounge up food or like stretch it and stuff like that. And when you come from I don't know if y'all like have like either immigrant parents or like black parents or whatever, like brown parents or even white parents that's poor. When you poor, all your parents want is for you to not be that way when you grow up.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I did this so you can have a better life. I don't want you to struggle. Again, you can either grow up like that. You're like, this is all I know. This is how I want to feel. I'm cool living in this lifestyle. Every moment I get, I'm gonna go clubbing. Every moment I get, I'm about the new J's. Every moment I get, and you just waste money. You don't think about money because money to you is just a resource without any repercussion. And then on the far side, when you have a lot of money, you grew up with money. Money again is a resource. It's just a means to an end. So you don't understand the value. Both don't understand the value of it or the importance of it.
Mm-hmm.
They just see it as like a resource to use, not to like gain, either to get out of it or to balance it. Because that's how like rich people, like real rich people, they know.
You know what it really is? Money is boring.
Yeah.
Like it's not an attractive, sexy thing to talk about. Like, yeah, it's cool if you have it, and if you're spending it, you're showing it off. It's like, oh wow, like they're doing great. They're traveling all the time.
Yeah, I got bottle service.
They got a Tesla. They got all these new fucking shoes. Like, yeah, it just looks good. But if you're like actually trying to get wealthy, you're not flaunting. You don't have to impress anybody. You're not spending all this money. You're more saving it, either investing it or putting it into like investment properties. Like that's real wealth because it's like you're gonna keep accruing money. You're gonna get that. What's the income called?
I know sweat equity. No,
that's not it. What's the word I'm looking for? Is it residual? Residual income? No.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Whatever.
Oh God.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Like,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll probably pop in my head there and do it.
But yeah, passive income.
Passive income.
You get that passive income where you're not actually doing anything. You're letting your money work for you, and that's not sexy. It doesn't seem sexy until you see your bank statement. You're like, oh shit. Like seeing I get so yeah, it gets my titties hard. Like when I see the email from Ally Bank, they're like, hey, our savings account went from a 4% to 4.5%.
Boy, boy,
like I'm like all about that email. I was like, yes, I am going to put all my money in savings because I know that interest. Like I think this past month we got like $40 in interest, and bro, it's free money.
That's actually free money, not credit card. That is actually free money. Actually APY is better than APR.
Yeah, say that one more time.
APY is better than APR.
Preach up.
I was about to say, but I'm feeling like the spirit in
bro.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, bro. If you're trying to decide, like, if you want to like put in a savings account or a stock market or whatever, like, you look for the APY. APR is bullshit unless you know how to use the credit card to your advantage. And I feel like a lot of people when you
I say
first
eighty
start,
percent of the people in the world don't know how to use it to their
and,
advantage.
it's fine. Like you said, it's boring and it's scary. People don't want to talk about money. People see money as either like, I don't want to worry about it because I just want to know if I can eat. I don't want to worry about it because I just want to know if I can either spend money on rent or spend money on food or things I want to do. I don't want to look at it. Some people just don't look at it. Like you could be like me. I'm very much like in the numbers. I love looking at numbers.
Hmm.
And I love looking at graphs. So when I see my net income is like fucking negative, like under zero, like
Your
that's
net worth.
bad. My net worth,
Hmm.
yeah, my net worth is that's a bad feeling. That's a feels bad feeling, but it also gives you information on what I can do. People don't want to see. It's just like the same. I think the same thing with like people with number when it comes to money comes to the scale as well. You don't want to see that number.
Mm.
You don't want to
Yeah.
see that number because you're worried if it goes up or down. If it goes down, you're happy. You're feeling good. Or at the same time, if it goes down, it's not going down fast enough. Just like money for me, I was like, bro, this shit sucks. This shit's horrible. I still got X amount of
Or it just keeps going up, and then it's just like even worse. You're just like, what am I doing?
exactly. And you don't want to deal that strategy. The same thing can apply to money as in weight loss. Oh, my weight is going up. Oh, this feels bad. Instead of you trying to figure out what you can do to fix it and bring it down if you want to lose weight, you just ignore it. You're like, oh, I'm not going to step on that scale no more.
Hmm.
You ignore the fact that your credit card rate is going up or your debt is increasing. You're like, I'm just not going to worry about it. Until the minimum payments, I'm not going to worry about it, and it'll all work out. Yeah, but then you're going to keep paying that credit card for like 30 years. You're going to be on that weight scale, fluctuating for how many other years? Sometimes you got to take control of it, and it's a scary thing. And a lot of people are afraid to look at money that way because they feel like it's either me or the money. I can't beat the money, so I'm gonna go on this trip in Milan and blow this money on this credit card I just bought, and just worry about it. It's $63 a month. That's fine.
Bro, I'm just thinking right now, like, when or why are people so afraid to talk about money? It's like, why is it such a touchy topic that
Mm,
people are just like so uncomfortable with? Do you think like there are companies that are like pushing like, oh, you shouldn't share your salary?
mm.
Like, why is it so like I love talking about money. I mean, I feel like I'm coming from a place of privilege in that regard a little bit, but I also
But we
think
were broke.
transparency. Yeah, but like it's also like I love the transparency of it to say like if you're working in a job like I have a set pay like I work in the government we have like the GS scale
Right,
like my like if someone else is working the same job as me they're getting the same pay
right, right.
but it's so interesting to me in like the private companies. So I see someone working in private, like, oh, how much you're making, and they say one thing, and someone else doing similar, the same job is making more, and I see the difference in like how long they've been doing their job. I'm like, well, why are you getting paid more than this person, and vice versa? And it's just so weird because like I don't know if you have like a NDA when you start your jobs or anything,
No, oh
but
yeah, that's right. You've been in government for
I've been in
22 years.
government my
So
whole life, so I don't
no,
know.
there's no. So from like talking from the private perspective, it's no NDA. There's no. It's this like this culture that's been built around, and I think it's just like either bro. They've been all right. Look, I ain't gonna put no conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy, but like if you, I did sociology in college and stuff like that, and what we watch it matters, right? What we consume, we just like especially in different cultures. If you're in the U.S., you probably grew up with like iCarly and then like Nickelodeon, and then you actually grew with the Disney and et cetera, so on and so forth, right?
Hmm.
So when those sitcoms like Seinfeld or not Friends, I guess Friends, How I Met Your Mother, or any of those sitcoms talk about when they do talk about money. Think of our favorite sitcom, How I Met Your Mother. Hey Barney, what do you do? Please,
Right.
Barney, how much do you make? Please. It puts in our mind like and or even other shows. That's funny, man, but other shows is like, oh, we don't talk about that. They made it so taboo to talk about money or salary because I think me personally, I think they don't want people to talk about salary and money because if I find out that my either this person is making more than me, it could either be like infighting, like between us, or even worse for the business that you're like, oh shit, you found out that I'm actually paying you less. You should not have known this.
Right.
That the business don't want you to know that because then you're gonna ask for more and they gotta give you more money.
Is that a part of your like? I guess it wouldn't really be diversity and inclusion training, but is there like any type of thing where they like say, hey,
I
don't do
think it is with
this,
training. It's like I think it is in our training. It's
don't
like
rub in your money in front of somebody else,
it'll
or
be
something
like,
like
oh,
that.
Janet said this, or to Tim, what happened? What happened wrong? It'll be like either like some racist stuff because they always throw racist shit, and I'm just
Well,
like,
that's
bro.
the DEIB training, yeah.
I'm like, bro. Okay, look, listen, we got some other shit to worry about, but or they'll say like, oh, like religion, politics, and stuff, and money is one of them.
Hmm.
You don't talk about religion, politics, and money because people are afraid, like, oh, if I tell this person I make more money than them, how will they view me? Will they dislike me? Because some people actually get in their feelings about money. I look at it as an arbitrary thing. I'm like, you making more money? I know we're on an equal level. You know what I'm saying? And then, or it'd be like, oh, you make more money than me? You deserve it because I am not doing that nearly as much as you
I don't
do.
think it ever goes that way. Though. I think it's more like, oh, we have the same job,
Mm-hmm.
we have the same title. Why are you making more? I'm going to take this to management, and I think management don't want them
No,
problems because they're like, well, we just need to get rid of somebody. Because
exactly.
it's like like split the difference. So is this person doing more than the other person, and we're paying them less? So like, okay, well, maybe to get weight, can't kill the dead weight,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
maybe put the other person up to their level, and then they're just going to do the entire job themselves.
Right. I mean, the first time I experienced that was when I was working as a contractor for the government. And during that time, bro, and during that time, I found out, like, hey, yo, like, I'm actually getting paid like shit. Like, and these people, like, these kids that were coming in, like, from like, like, fresh out of college was making way more than me. Way more than
Seriously?
me. Yes. And I found this out by just, like, talking to somebody or whatever. And they were like, oh, yeah, that's just how Boo's Island is. Oops, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Yikes!
Drag his ass,
Shout
drag
out to
his ass.
Booth.
Shout out to Boots, fuck y'all. But no, it's just like they'll do that, and they expect you not to know. So I brought that up to my manager, and they were like, "Oh shit!" Like they didn't know what to do, and I was like, "Yo, I need to be making more, like because they're doing the same thing." And then they were like, "Oh well, technically, you didn't." They were like, "Well, you didn't come from like a good school, and you didn't come from." And now it's like,
Mm.
okay, and then or it'll come off like diversity and inclusion, right? They're white, I'm black. And then, during that time, this was like 2018, not 2018, this was like 2015 actually when I got there. People didn't want to talk about that shit. People didn't want to see
All
like
right.
their biases and like how
It's
much you
all
get.
well. This is after Trayvon, before George Floyd.
Exactly, exactly. So I think that's what it comes down. Is like they don't want to talk about money because they don't want to have that situation where they have to worry about how they need to pay these people
Mm.
because if they don't have to worry about it, then the money can go straight to the executive. But again, like that's why like we're so aware of money, and I think you're a perfect example of it. Like how you see the trend of like either like let's say you're a doctor, right? Like when you do those high paying jobs, like your like a family member of yours is a pharmacist. Shit. All right.
It's good.
Oops.
It's
Uh,
good. It's cool. It's cool.
but like from my side, I had friends that were pharmacists, and they just came like it was like new money. You know what I'm saying? They grew up poor, they got new money, they don't know what to do, and so they just blow it. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, hey, I got this money. I was like, yo, you got like a 6 grand paycheck, and you get two paychecks a week.
Bro, that's so much money.
How do you spend? How do you only have a grand left at the end of the month? And
I
I was
don't
like, what?
understand what people do with their money.
Blow it. They just blow it on dumb stuff.
Like
It was the COVID
I
too.
like there's like this whole thing about like how much money is enough money.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like I make enough money to be happy.
Yeah.
Like anything else I make on top of this isn't gonna make me happy.
It's just ice cream.
It's ice cream. It's a cherry on top, but it doesn't really do it. I hate cherry, so it doesn't do anything for me. Yep. You know what? Cancel me. I said it. I hate cherries. Yeah, I don't want to hear my thoughts on watermelon.
All right. You like fried chicken, though, right?
Oh yeah. Hello. I'm black. Come on.
Okay. All right. Look, man. I know a black girl that ain't like fried chicken or cornbread.
Well,
She spoke
we're gonna
Spanish.
have to take that one to the board. We're gonna have to take that one to the board. But yeah, watermelon's mid. Anyway,
I almost got blown.
I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about. I completely forgot what we were talking about. I was talking about the how people blow their money.
People blow their money. Yeah, I think that. like, I don't understand how you can make so much money and not have any money. Like some people are living above their means, or they're living beneath their means, or at their means. Like I try to live below my means.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that I can definitely. Well, I know that me and my wife we can afford more space, but I'm also like, well, are we uncomfortable in this space? Do we need more space,
Mm.
or will we just like more space?
Yeah.
And that's currently our debate right now. It's like we can afford a 2 bedroom in our apartment, so we can
Mm-hmm.
have an extra space. So if we wanted a space for like I don't know, doing yoga, or he just wants to get away from me, she has her own space. That's
Right.
kind
Right.
of like our current argument. If I'm being real, our
Right. Right.
current argument right now is like I have the office as my space, and
As a
she doesn't have a
getaway.
space for her.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, the office is my space during the day. I don't even use it at night, so you
Yeah,
can be in
you
there,
got that. Yeah.
but it's not big enough to do things that she would want to do in there. So
Mm.
it's like this conversation of, well, do we spend the extra 1,000 a month, or do we just deal with it for the next lease and then have like an extra $12,000 saved up?
Right.
And it's just like,
Get
well,
rid of
that's a
get rid of
lot of
your
money.
right. Get rid of your L table.
How dare you? Actually, I've been trying to replace it, so it might be that time, and I can just push it against the wall.
Exactly.
So
Then she got
like,
her.
it's a good excuse for me to get a new table.
She can praise
You
the
know what?
sun.
You know what? You make a good argument, Jermaine. You solved it.
I
I'm getting
saw
rid
it.
of my table. I'm spending $3,000 for a table that moves around.
Get up onto the table. Get up onto the table. Yeah. No. That's,
But no, but you see that the whole money dynamic. You see that with like professional athletes who come from nothing, who just go broke really quickly. They're like, oh, I'm in the NBA, I'm in the NFL, I'm gonna be here forever. First paycheck, I'm buying my mom a car. Second paycheck, I'm buying me a house.
mm-hmm.
Third paycheck, oh man, I had a knee injury. Oh, you got cut. What?
Right.
Poor.
You still got to pay that mortgage though.
Right. Remember that house you bought? Yeah, you still gotta pay that mortgage.
Oh, that
Remember
property
that
tax.
car you bought for your mom? You didn't pay all the way off? Yeah, you still gotta pay that. Also, taxes is still coming.
Mm-hmm.
You still owe us this money. Uncle Sam need his.
But them taxes never going away.
Right. So you have to take the time to learn about money. If you don't have someone you can trust, some people go through financial advisors,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's a good resource. Personally, for me, I think it's a waste of money.
It's a scam. It's a scam.
I think it's a scam.
You can
bro.
do that yourself.
Everything they tell you is on the internet.
Yeah.
And if you just took the time to research it and do it yourself, you know better.
Yeah.
Don't have someone invest money for you because they're going to take a cut. That's a ripoff. What is it, investment banker or investment trader or whatever it is?
Yeah, the financial buyer, investment banker, whatever.
Yeah, investment. Fucking scam.
They get a percentage or you have to
They
pay
get a cut.
it. Yeah.
So even if you have good means, like, oh, I don't know what to do with it, bro. Just put all your money in S&P 500. We're not talking about a stock podcast, but like, it drives me crazy that people just don't want to take the time to just learn about it, and then a lot of people just complain about the situation, but don't educate themselves on how to do it. It's one thing if you educate it and you don't understand it, you still don't understand it, then it's like, okay, well, maybe get an additional resource and try to find someone who understands it better to have them explain it to you. But if you don't look at it and you're just complaining about the issue and I don't know, you're just not, or you're just ignoring it entirely and you're just like, why am I in this hole? And you just continue to ignore. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to talk about money. I don't want to stop using my credit card. I got to travel now. I got to do everything now. If you continue to do everything now, you're hurting your future self.
Exactly. Oh, say it again. Say it again.
If you continue to do everything now, you're hurting your future self. A lot of people argue you can't spend when you're dead. They argue that, like, who knows where I'm going to be in X amount of years. You're going to be in a worse situation because you live it now.
Right, exactly.
Bro, space it out. You don't have to do everything right now.
Yeah, it's not a rush. It's not a race, man. I mean, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Right. And it's a marathon that I think I'm doing a good job in that marathon, but the actual marathon training, bro, I ain't going to make it. But that's not this episode.
That's not this episode. So as we come into this close of the episode, like, we would love to hear from you guys. If y'all want to hear about strategies and stuff like that, let us know. But what advice, like, other than, like you said, don't sprint it now, it's a marathon, not a sprint. What final advice would you give to our listeners on money?
My final advice I would say is figure out what your net worth is. I think that's a very important tool. Personally, I use Intuit's Mint account. I go through Mint. I put all
How long a member have you been?
I've been a Mint member since 2016.
You hear that? Since 2016. I think it was longer than that.
It might have been. but it's a good way to like put in your bank account information, your credit card information, any of your student loans. You put all that information in there, and it like a car payments, your auto loan stuff, and it gives you your net worth. Your net worth, quick definition of net worth. It's your assets minus your liabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So assets being like what's in your bank account, what's in your investment account, retirement account, all that stuff.
Property you own,
Liabilities,
stuff like that.
yeah, liabilities are your credit cards, your auto loans, your home loans,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. You also have equity, which would be in your credits, because if you have a house and it goes up in value, you have more equity.
Yeah.
So that being said, I would say take the time to do that, figure out your net worth, and then you can really see how well off or bad how bad it really is. I've fortunate to say, yeah, I have a positive net worth right now, so I'm really happy about that. When I got married, we had a negative net worth. So
Hey, yo, that grind. I appreciate it. I love that. I love to hear a success story. But no, I completely agree with that. Like, find your network, and like, if you are looking for resources and stuff like that, again, like, either hit us up, but be careful for like the resources you do find and stuff because like he did it in the wild west of the internet, which was like 2015, and where like the resources were like not as much. We didn't have like TikTok influencers and stuff like that. Don't run into the get quick
don't
schemes.
get your financial advice from TikTok.
Yeah, no.
Get a reputable source.
Yeah, get Nerd Wallet. But no, like seriously, like look for like take your time, look for or like ask like someone that you trust that are good with money, aka us, and we can point you out in the right direction. But yeah, like it's so many scammers out there, people trying to get your money, or like make you fail, or make them inflate the stock prices. They're just you gotta be careful.
And also, last thing I want to say, I know I said the other thing was the last thing. Last thing I want to say, it's not always sexy. It's not the most fun thing to do, but your future self will thank you, and you'll be way more happier if you did it now.
Awesome guys, and yeah, like I said, like if you want to send us information, like comment, let us know what you thought of the episode. Where can they send this information to us?
Yeah, you guys can find us at Unsolicited Counseling on Instagram and YouTube. You can find us at Unsolicited Counseling Podcast on Facebook. You can also find us via email at youadvicepodcast@gmail.com. No threads posted.
No thread post, no X, because
Oh, that's right. We're not on X.
we're not on X. We're not on X. We're not on X. But yeah, guys, as always, guys, we love you guys. We're here for you guys. One drink at a time, one episode at a time.
Be easy, y'all. Latest. I jumped ahead.